I'll make a new Kirblog with you. I've made some changes and they're getting better all the time. I'm here with Casey Mongillo. You're supposed to do the... No, the... Good, beautiful. We're making this Kirblog for you. Hey, I have a Casey in my house.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. I was also expecting you to turn that into the fucking Flintstones theme at some point. Oh my god. Hey, so we're recording this Monday before this is gonna go up. I wanted to do this one about so this year I didn't really make a separate Kirblog. I haven't made, not the last couple of years I haven't made a separate Kirblog about like my New Year's resolutions or anything. I shot a little quick video at the end. I did a little birthday stream. You were off partying on New Year's Eve. And I haven't done one like this in a while, and I thought this would be, now that, excuse me, Dragon Ball Week is all wrapped up, I thought it'd be fun to do a little something like this. But also, I thought it would be fun to hold off on recording because literally as of today, Kasem's has just moved to California.
That may or may not be true.
By may or may not, it is absolutely true.
It's kind of true.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm
you seem to be not believing that it's real.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I kind of moved here, not on impulse. It's something I've wanted to do for like 10 years.
I feel like almost since as long as I've known you, you've been wanting to like move out of
either
the East Coast.
Either Texas or here.
Yeah.
And
well, now with the state of the country, you probably don't want to go to Texas. No.
So
Though we have many lovely friends in Texas.
Yeah, we
who
do.
I do adore. I hope I'll see them soon, but
it's not them I'm worried about. It's the locals.
Other people.
It's the locals.
So yeah, it's not even been that long since we did the Tumblr Kirblog. It's only been about a month and a half or so.
Because November?
Yeah. I mean.
When did we do Tumblr?
No, I mean, shut up.
I'm kidding.
Fuck
I'm
it.
kidding. Oh my god.
You're
take
not.
A joke.
Oh my god, except I'm not kidding at all, and you're an idiot.
You're such a dummy.
Idiot.
You're stupid.
So
You smell. You have a hole in your shirt.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
Oh
Right?
shit.
You do.
Oh fuck. Oh, this is old. This tattered piece of shit. Wow. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a few things. I don't have an outline prepared. I just kind of started recording. I wrote that fucking song because I thought it was hilarious.
I was wondering what you were typing, huh?
Well, because also we listened to it in the car a lot when you were
did.
here for AX, and
We did.
we sang it
I
a
do
lot.
remember that, yeah.
And on the way here, we sang a lot of things and turned them all into the Flintstones. So thank you, Silver Gunner, for that. But this is 2016 was an interesting year, I think, to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, for me personally, I went through a lot of very intense experiences. A lot of bad things happened. A lot of good things happened. The biggest thing of which for me was that my voiceover stuff really took off this past year. I was able to get. It's actually, I think, almost been a full year now since it's getting close to it that I got my agent, and I booked this big job with this Cartoon Network show that I think is hopefully going to be coming out this year. And I booked Reagan. I got to do Tales of Hysteria, The Cross. I did a bunch of other stuff, you know, and I managed to produce a few cartoons mixed in there and everything. And excuse me, I had to barf a little bit.
What the? I backed up a little bit. Did you see me? I was like, you.
Uh-oh. Sorry. We had.
Are you gonna do that might puke thing?
I might puke. I think I told that story on a stream, but yeah, and I had a lot of very eye-opening experiences about myself and my life and my attitude and my whole just way of being. And the last like year and a half or so, I think I've learned a lot of really, really important things about just my own life and kind of what I want to go forward. I mean, I've been talking for a long time about how, like, you know, what I'm most of all glad about is the fact that I fully established, okay, why am I doing what it is that I love to do? Like, why do I love doing animation, storytelling, and creating so much? Like, what is the purpose of what it is that I do? and I have a much clearer, I guess, envisionment. And I think it's been good because it's allowed me personally to. Sorry, the Denny's is slowly coming out of my system.
Oh my God. You should get that checked.
Yeah, clearly. We're also very tired.
Yeah.
I've been driving all day, and she's been flying all day.
Yeah.
But no, it's perfect. It's great. It's real, Casey.
It's real, man.
We're really fucking tired.
Really? Yeah,
Just for
it's
you.
real. It's really fucking, yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, having that clarity, I think, has been really good because now going into this new year, which I'm gonna get into the stuff of this year. Shut up, phone. God. I think that moving forward with a clear path of like what it is that I want to do and like just kind of accepting like the good stuff that I've had, because I've had a lot of really wonderful things and a lot of really wonderful people in my life, not the least of which is you. Not the least of which is you.
That's why I went as I was hurt. Not happy.
Oh, as whenever you do a cute high-pitched thing, I just always assume it's happy. So, wow! I can't even do it. I'm so fucking. My voice is so shot. I can't even do my impression of your softie. How was 2016 for you, Casey?
It was very, very interesting. Interesting.
Come closer. Speak into the microphone.
It was very interesting for many, many reasons. That's a nice microphone. It's a Samsung.
Yeah.
Oh, hey there.
I should be using the other
it's a
one
nice
in my
one.
closet
Oh,
that's
there's no
been
pop
built for
filter,
me.
though. No pop
Fucking.
filter. No.
Tell me
Anyway,
about.
but it was a good year. It wasn't great voice acting wise. Well, it was and it wasn't. I created my own project, which took up about half of the year, and I did all the voice acting for the main character and that. So that was something that was just a lot of fun for me to do, but it did take up about half of the year. But I did a lot of other things. I kind of stepped outside of doing my regular routine of voiceovers, and I took a trip to the UK with my friend Phoebe, and
You saw some familiar
familiar
people.
faces, and went a bit up northern England, and saw Shady Good and Briny Face,
Yay.
the Bun Bun.
My favorites.
And we made a little bit of music and had a great time. So, it just made me think, what do I want to do now? Because I loved it in England so much. I actually
Oh, that's right. I didn't
was
even
considering
mention.
going
Yeah.
to school in London.
Yeah. Well, because I actually talk about that because that actually was like a big talk for a while.
Well, it still could be. Who knows what will come of me being in LA? We still don't know yet. But when I was on the plane from London back to New York City, I got talking to like a med student, and we just got to talking about education and stuff. And wait a minute. Oh, you came from here? Okay, so wait, you go to school in London? Okay. I'm like, how much does that cost? Just not for anything, but and he just basically explained to me that it was more or less free because he wasn't from the country, and they like having certain schools, certain universities, like having students from outside of the country because it makes their school look good. So when I saw that, I looked into a couple of schools, and I sent some emails out, and I got a couple of responses. And basically, I almost ended up going to a school for acting and performing arts in London, and it wouldn't cost me much, and I'd be able to live there for a very minimal amount. And I love England.
Yeah.
I do.
You felt immediately at home. You were just like fucking traveling around like it was nothing.
Yeah, I was, and it was my first time there, and like we went.
But you've been out of the country before, though, I think, right? Had you? Had you been out of the country before? Like
Oh,
before
yeah.
England? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not since I was like a kid.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is my first time out of the country as an adult, I guess. I don't think I've left the country in my adult years, but that was the first time, and it was great. I got to go with my best friend, and we had an amazing time. And so that was something that I was thinking for a long while. It was, I could go to school in London. And that's kind of what I was doing some research on in 2016. And that's where I thought my 2017 was going to go. But I don't want to say it was a wild impulse, but I had a window of opportunity to stay in LA for X amount of months. And it could be 1 month, it could be 6 months, it could be as long as they want. So basically, it's kind of like a trial run at the moment and seeing how I feel. But personally, it's hard when you're a performer because you're your own worst critic.
Yeah,
And
well, an artist in general.
any
to be
artist
honest.
in general, right?
Yeah.
And I was on the plane for longer than I was supposed to be. It's already a 6.5 hour flight, and
Yeah.
I was on the plane for another hour and something minutes because it was delayed due to weather. So I'm sitting there in this tin can with my own thoughts for hours, and I ended up basically having like a panic attack on the plane, going, "Oh shit!"
Thank God you had Wi-Fi because I was.
Am I
talking
making
to
a
you.
mistake? Like, and I still, I don't know because it's so luck of the draw. It's
Yeah.
very random, and I'm still very nervous being out here. So I don't know how long I will be able to be out here, but I hope that I'll be able to be out here for a good while. But some of that anxiety has subsided thanks to Chris.
Some.
Some of it, I'm still very nervous and very just, but I mean,
Sorry, I
I
burped
was-
in the middle of your incredibly heartfelt speech.
it is okay. But yeah, I just had like a panic. I had a full metal panic.
I mean,
And,
God, the anime. Well, I mean, because I've been here for now 2.5 years. I moved summer of 2014, and I remember I was terrified. And it's funny because now I'm terrified of I have, with this year coming up, this year happening, I have a new major undertaking coming up very, very, very soon that is going to be the biggest undertaking of my life in terms of a project and just
Professionally,
just all encompassing on my life. And it's really it's a different kind of, actually no, it feels different than the fear that I had when I first moved here, because I didn't actually.
that was the fear of uncertainty.
Well, the fear of uncertainty, it wasn't so much a fear of uncertainty. It was like, I didn't know how well I was going to do. It wasn't even so much like, oh, I'm not going to.
That sounds like uncertainty,
Well,
but-
because no, like, I was certain. It wasn't uncertainty because I was certain that I always had to be here. I knew that since I was in college that, like, this is where I had to go eventually,
Right.
because this is where everything relating to everything that I want to do, whether it's, animation, games, acting, whatever, it's all in
And
California.
that's in my head too.
Yeah. I mean, and granted, like for acting, I feel like there are other options, across the country, but like the major center for all of it, for all artistic stuff in terms of like creating and
That's
productions,
why it's
it's
considered
California.
the entertainment capital of the world.
Yeah, and so I was certain of that. What I was nervous about was, one, I knew that a lot of people wanted me to turn right the fuck back around and move back home, because because of me, because of my reputation and me being the way that I am, and me doing things the way that I do it, and acting the way that I act, not performing acting like real life acting.
Well, what do you mean by that? 'Cause I don't even know what you mean by that.
Because I had some circles I still do have a reputation for being an obnoxious tool, and I had to come out to a completely new place and start from scratch.
I don't think you're an obnoxious.
Well, thank you. Yeah, as I slip her a 20. Well, and also my biggest advantage was, and this is to relate to you because you've already got this out here. Because when you came to visit to AX, I mean, everybody out here loved you instantly. And like, she's literally been here for let's see, about 3.5 hours, not even,
Yeah.
in the state.
Yep.
But I mean, when you came for AX for the Tome screening, like, you hung out with everybody, and like, we haven't even gotten to see anybody yet since you've been here, but it's like, you already have a ton of people to back you up. And like, in my case, I had, the likes of Ben Diskin and Mona Marshall and Yuri Lowenthal in terms of like, helping me to get out there and giving me encouragement
Well, that's
and
still-
et cetera. Yeah.
big.
And
that's still more than most will have.
No, of course, and I owe them so much. Just like with, I mean, you know, we've talked on the tumblr curve a lot, but you have people like Bradley and Lonnie Manella and guys like that who like believe in your ability. Just because I'll even say, like, in many phone calls for like the last year or so, I was like, Casey, move to fucking California, get out of Connecticut, god damn it,
It's
move here,
true.
you're gonna do well here, like you have connections and you're really good, and god damn it, etc.
But that's the thing is, like, I'm here now.
Yeah.
And
It's real.
I'm here, okay? And my things are being sent to my place, and this is all happening in real time. It's happening so fast, and it's not that whole, like, should I be here? It's that, well, I know I'm supposed to be here, but is it my time to be here? And in the back of my head, I keep having that nagging of, I'm just not going to make it out here, you know? And that's my fear of, like, financially, I'm going to be dead in like a couple of months, and I'm going to get nothing and have nothing at all. And that is like what set me into a panic on the plane. I'm not someone who has panic attacks anymore. I learned to control all that stuff. And this is the first panic attack I've had in a very, very long time, probably about 4 years.
Yeah.
And I was going, motherfucker, I'm having a fucking panic attack. No! No, not in this
how
tin
can this
can.
be?
How can this be? And I look at the ETA on the flight.
You've only been flying for about 15 minutes. Shit!
I was literally in the air for about I was in the plane for probably about 3 hours. I was in the air for 2. That extra hour really was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
But you know, it had another 4.5 hours to go, and you see how little progress you made across the map. It shows you from New York to LA. We were barely like over, you know, by the time we got to Kentucky, we were flying over Kentucky, and I was just like, that's when I was just like, nope, I'm dead.
I mean,
it's very uncertain. It's very scary.
well, I was gonna get to the reason I relate is because now the different kind of fear that I have is similar in that it's like, okay, I know I have this experience, I know that I'm capable of these things, but what I'm about to do is bigger than anything I've done before. Like going from New York to LA, and you know, even just in terms of the comparison of the voiceover scene, it's night and fucking day. It's completely different, and it's such a bigger scale.
Yeah. It's not even just so much the work here, but it's the people, it's the environment, and holy shit, the weather. You saw me coming with that big puffy red jacket, and I still have my snow boots on, and everyone's looking at me like I'm some kind of Martian.
No, I
with
think
this
you're in an
big
airport.
backpack.
I don't think it's that weird for you to be going from one weather type to another where there is no weather here.
Right, but everyone else shed their coats, literally, metaphorically, while they were all on the plane, and I'm like, oh shit, my pair of shoes isn't here yet. my other pair of shoes gets here in a couple of days.
So your shoes as of currently are
I
snow
have my
boots.
hiking. I mean, these are the ones I wore to England. They still probably have sheep shit
Oh
on the
my
bottom of
god!
it for all I know.
Oh no, not sheep shit on my carpet! Damn it! Oh no, she turned into a vampire. But shut up. But I mean, well, I'm mostly glad because I mean, like, my confidence came from the fact that I think that you are going to do well out here, and you know, I mean, I lucked out in my first, like, you know, half a year of being here up until the end of 2014. I had, because of the fact that I had so many people supporting me, I booked Tales of Zestiria within the first 3 months of being in town, thanks to Ben, you know, which I'm
Right.
eternally thankful for, and still continuing that job because Tales of Zestiria the Cross is airing. Hooray! Plug, Funimation.com. Anyway, but you know, and I didn't know how it was gonna go. If anything, actually, Tome was a weird kind of like falling back point because right before I you know, just suddenly, hey, you have an opportunity to have this place out here and move, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm taking it. Right before that, we did the crowdfunding for season 2 of Tome, And so I know that going in, before I was even going to start looking for jobs or, submitting myself to studios
knew that
or
was on the
whatever,
table.
I at least had something to occupy myself with.
Right.
Like I have the solace in
Would
that.
that be a good thing? I guess it's a good thing because I know for you, you're someone who needs to stay busy.
Oh God,
you
yeah,
always do.
yeah. I mean, well, I've been talking about in many of these the past year. Like I took 2016 off because I wanted to focus on like training myself. I took a lot of classes. I was trying to do smaller scale stuff to just improve my craft. But all the while I was, and of course the voiceover stuff was doing very well too. But all the while in my head I'm going like, fucking A, I miss having a big project like Tome. Like once we finished it. And I'm glad we finished it because we finished it to the envisionment that I had, and it was amazing.
It was a great finale.
Yeah, and
everybody there, it was.
And that weekend was
It was
amazing.
a great send off.
Yeah, but even actually, that's the thing. After that weekend, so we're flashing back.
Year and a half.
Summer 2015. After the weekend of that, what I further preoccupied myself with was, doing the behind the scenes stuff like the commentaries and the fact bubbles and all that stuff and everything, which was fun. And then we had the extra little videos and things put out for the 4-year anniversary at the time. We just had the 5-year one as of a couple months ago. Excuse me, Morty.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
gee.
Oh my god! Aliens!
Oh my god! Aliens, they exist.
We love you, Shady. Even though you're probably never gonna listen to this because he doesn't listen to these.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Fuck
He
Shady.
hates
Vibe.
us. I love you, Shady. Can't wait to see you.
I
again.
don't. No, I do though.
What the fuck was I just talking about? Oh yeah, I by the time we got up to the 4-year anniversary, I was hoping I would have something worked out, like some news about like this is happening or we're going with this or whatever, and I didn't. And a whole year goes by and I still didn't have anything to talk about, and I felt really bad about it. And that's part of why I wanted to do the anniversary short, because I wanted to have fucking something,
right.
which I did, and I'm proud of that. And it was a lot of fun, and like the stream was great. And the Kirblogs with all of you guys was a lot of fun.
That was great. That was a lot of
7 or 8 hours straight of just us fucking around.
It was fun. And the after party too.
Yes. Well, that was the last couple hours of the 8.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean but my point also is like the fear of that kind of stuff. It's also like, it is not that different from how it was before, where it is like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I can only be as prepared as I am at this age, at this skill level, at this moment. Yeah, exactly. And I just have to go for it. And I just have to, do the best I possibly fucking can and hope that and that's the thing, is sometimes I don't even know if I am doing the best I possibly can. Like people
I don't know if anyone really does.
well, cause like,
I think it's like philosophical.
No, but like seriously,
But,
I get a lot of people like when I am very kindly given accolades by friends and colleagues, they're often like, "Oh, Chris, you work so hard," and like that's really cool of you, and etc. But sometimes in my head, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm really I don't know if I'm pushing myself to do better.
I'm the same way. When you tell me that I'm good and I'll succeed, in my head I'm like,
You're full of shit.
Get out of town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Well, I had another epiphany recently. It's a little off topic, but like, when I was warned about moving out here by some people about how like, oh, it's LA, it's fake central and whatever, I learned that when I got here that stereotype is wrong for specific reasons. People who are fake, like actually fake douchebags, generally, as I've noticed, generally are not liked by anybody. Excuse me, Morty. They're generally they're ostracized by people for being douchebags, and nobody wants to hang out with them. Like, seriously, like if people who are notorious for being like, oh hey, we should hang out. Why do we not hang out? We should hang out. You want to do lunch? Can you get me a job? What? Those kind of people, they are not liked by anybody. So it's not so much that there are fake people. I think that just LA gets that reputation because of the fact that it is the entertainment capital.
Hollywood. You always hear about that.
But I mean, I think the fact that it specifically gets that reputation more so than other places that have an entertainment center, and whether it's Texas or New York or Chicago or places in Canada or whatever, it's because there's just so many people here. So you hear more about it from the amount of people that happen to be here.
It is pretty saturated with talent and would be talent.
Yeah.
Well, and on the case of the would-be, stuff too, it's like what the stereotype seems to get wrong is it seems to me more so that it's much more about criticism. It's much more about criticism of others and criticism of yourself. And I'm finding, and this is something, this isn't so much like a New Year's resolution, but it's a self-analytical thing that I definitely want to work on. I feel like in the last several years, maybe even before I moved here, I've become a lot more like judgmental and like critical of stuff in general. And I don't like it. It's this
That's just part of getting older, dude.
well, no, because it's not being jaded. I am jaded of certain things, certainly, but nothing that's like that important or like very trivial kind of shit, like fandom stuff or whatever. But I try genuinely, and because you've known me for a long time, I'm generally a pretty upbeat, optimistic kind of person. Like I try to have a positive attitude and be very open and understanding to a lot of things, and and to a lot of different kinds of people, and et cetera. And I look back on like my young teenage self, and I scoff at like, my God, how like stupid I was, and et cetera. But like there are new things that pop up, and it's like I've learned from friends of mine who kind of started relatively around the same time as me that like it is important. This is true. It is important to be critical, to be a critical thinker.
Oh, it absolutely is. But as my mentor basically helped me understand, and I'm not sure if this has made me lazier, but it's certainly kept me a little bit more sane.
Yeah.
Is don't kill yourself over it.
No.
Because
yeah.
that is something that I'm really good for, is with something that I'll record or I'll do, and I hear it back, I'm not satisfied with it. Okay, I'll do another couple takes. Still not good. And I can show it to anyone. They go, what's wrong with that? I said, it's something about it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I've done that during a couple of sessions where my mentor was just like, you've got to let go of doing that. You're going to drive yourself completely insane.
Yeah.
She goes, it's not that big of a deal, and it
Yeah.
sounds fine. And it's just, it absolutely can ruin you
Yeah.
if you don't realize it. And this goes for anyone out there who's starting and just starting to figure out how you sound and what kind of voices you can do, and starting to think, oh, I don't know if I like that. That's okay, but ooh, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes a downward spiral of you keep trying to improve something, and you may be improving it, but you don't see it as you improving. And you'll keep playing things back and keep going, this sounds like shit. I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you just get depressed.
I mean, on the art side, something I see a lot is like people start a project. They start like, I'm going to do this webcomic, or I'm going to do this animated series, or I'm going to do this game project or whatever. And then like they get like, sometimes they'll get started and they'll go like a year in or whatever. And then they get, I've seen, actually I did a Kirblog about webcomics with an old classmate of mine that I went to college with. And we were talking about how like so many people like start a webcomic and then they get a year in and they just like reboot the whole thing. They keep doing that over and over. It's like, shit, all right, I came up with a better version of it now. Oh, damn it, I want to redo it now or whatever. Because like, oh, I came up with it in like 2007 when I wasn't any good at writing and drawing or whatever,
Right.
And then you never like finish giving birth.
You never follow up on it, yeah.
Yeah, that's why like, warts and all, I'm very proud of the fact that even, Tome is
Did
not
you say
perfect.
warts and all?
Yeah, warts and all. Like flaws and all. You've never heard that before?
I've never
Really?
heard that.
Yeah.
Like, you got warts, dude?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I got some ass pimples from sitting on my butt in the car looping around fucking LAX for so many
Hey,
times.
I'm sorry. The baggage
That was not your fault. No,
baggage carousel would not
God.
move.
Airports.
I kicked it.
We-
I kicked the baggage carousel, and the other one started moving. I'm not kidding. That's why I texted you, and I was like, fuck. But,
Oh my God.
yes.
No, I mean, like, Tome is not perfect by any means in terms of, like, a completed piece.
well, you didn't have, you had an idea, but just like anything that's, especially something independent made, you do it as you go along.
Yeah.
And you learn as you go along.
Sure.
And that's that's very apparent.
Well, but
beginning and ending of Tome.
But I'm glad that like I did stick to my vision and I completed it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got to that point with it, and that like it is a finished whole of like, this is what I wanted to do. And it was slightly different than I envisioned in terms of like, I think I went in thinking it was going to be like 20 episodes in total. Excuse me, which I would have loved to have had some more time to do like some goofy filler episodes and shit like that.
That goes
but,
in, that ties in with the going along with it thinking,
Yeah.
well, that didn't work,
And I
but
was
we
like,
did
well, I
something
guess
else.
I'll just like if I just do these 6 episodes for season 2, I can tell the important parts of the story that I wanted to set, and I did, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm glad. And again, like the big panel at the end, and I mean, like for self-indulgent reasons or otherwise, like made it feel very worth it in the end.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, not even just I mean, yeah, it's obviously rewarding for you,
Yeah.
the creator. You deserve to have that kind of a finale
Oh.
because no, seriously though, hear me out here. Not many people start a project like this and see it all the way through and expand on it like you have. That is kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
yo, fist bump.
Ow.
I mean, it is really cool that you've done it, and it's not something that everyone talks about it.
I mean, I'm also
did it,
I'm proud
so
of like I mean
that's
I'm
cool.
proud of all of you guys for doing a great job. I'm proud of my staff, and I'm incredibly grateful to everybody that was involved with the show because I wouldn't have been able to fucking do it by myself.
Well, you made it a real indie production. And
I tried.
It became pretty professional by the end of it, especially with. I mean, I didn't realize how many people loved Tome until the panel, and I couldn't believe the amount of people there. Remember, you said you. I remember. I'll never forget walking down the convention hallway with you, thinking. No one's gonna fucking show up to this. You said the
And then-
exact words.
and
Nothing's
there's
gonna
this-
fucking
and
show
suddenly
up to
the
this.
line was starting to
And
form,
you
I
were
was
just
like-
getting like depressed. It was just like depressed. Yeah, dude, you were getting depressed. And
I
I
mean,
was like,
we were having.
dude, I'm
just
like,
to
I'm sure there's
clarify-
gonna be some people there
Hold
trying
on,
to cheer him up,
Hold on,
not knowing.
just to clarify, we were also having a wonderful weekend together, like already anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this was the last day of the con. We had it on Sunday morning.
Right.
But I definitely was like, I hope we have some people that actually show up.
I thought it was gonna be more of like a private party with like 5 to 10 people who like the show.
Filled room.
There were people who came from other countries, like
Wasn't there somebody?
Ireland.
Yeah, somebody came from
Somebody
Ireland like
came in
that
from
weekend to come
Ireland.
see us at the autograph thing
Yeah,
we did.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, you get more than an autograph. I'm like, you stay right there. We're gonna talk to you
Yeah,
later because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's just too crazy.
Yeah.
You know, people coming from one state away or from Nevada or something like that. It's like, well, it's still pretty far, but you come from another country. People, more than one person coming from another country
You
in
know-
different parts of the U.S. You know that you've done something right.
You know what's also something too? Actually, I was gonna bring this. This is an interesting kind of comparison. I was bringing up this point about with Ben, where like Ben is so fucking like zen about his career. Ben. He's so like zen about like he just kind of takes. He's been doing this literally since he was in the womb, like doing acting and stuff. I'm not even kidding. Like literally since he was in his mother's womb, he did his first commercial.
Was he in like a fetal ultrasound commercial?
I
or
don't.
something?
I don't.
He was the first baby.
Maybe I don't know.
He was the first ultrasound baby.
It was some kind. It was a commercial, nonetheless. But Ben's been doing this for literally his entire, more than his entire life, and you know he's you know gotten to a point where just like whatever comes his way, he just has fun with and accepts, and like doesn't get to like he doesn't drive himself nuts. To go back to your earlier point.
Well, this is his world. This
Sure.
has been our world from a certain age. We didn't necessarily grow up with that. So that's something that I think like maybe my friend Bradley, who's been acting since basically a baby, basically a little small child, and someone like Ben, who's been part of the business since before we were even like doing anything. You know, we were watching these shows that he was a part of and playing the games that he was in, and
And same thing with Mona and Lonnie.
Mona,
and
Lonnie,
Bradley
Lonnie
and-
especially. Lonnie,
Lonnie was in every game ever made for
she,
a while.
I went back to my after I had realized who she was and who exactly I was talking to and who I had just become friends with. I went back and all of my games. I'm like, wait, she's in this and this one 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 and just basically most of my game collection
Yeah.
that I grew up with, and it's just really wild.
Yeah.
But you know, people like them
And there are
have
friends.
been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are friends too. It's bizarre. They've been doing it for so long. They're at that point.
Yeah.
They're at that point where they don't have to. They're at the point where they're the ones who give advice, and I listen to them, because they know this more than anybody,
Yeah.
and they have the most experience. They have the most, not so much work experience behind the booth experience, but experience with just handling it all
Yeah.
and taking what comes at you.
And when you're like first getting your feet wet and like you know, you have all these dreams and aspirations and shit. Because I don't want to make it sound like, oh, then eventually you have to just get jaded and settle and just, you know, take whatever you can get or whatever.
No, but I think there becomes a point where you've done most of the things that you've wanted to do, or at least you set out to do, because we started doing this because we were inspired by our friends at a very young age, and you know, we're so inspired. We're just like, man, when I'm older, I want to do a game like that. That'd be so cool. And then we actually practice and realize it's a thing we can do. And we practice and practice and actually make it our life's work to try to do this. And I've spent my entire adult life doing this.
Yeah.
Since I was still in high school, really. Since I was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And I'm 29 now, so, you know, 12 years later,
Jesus,
I'm still doing this. And I still sometimes feel like I'm just starting out because the industry changes so much.
Yeah.
Remember when we first started out, New York was like the place.
For a little, I mean, that was still like, I think, somewhat in the heyday of when 4Kids had a lot of things.
There was, you had 4Kids, you had CPM, Central Park Media.
Media Blasters is still going. You had Duart. You had I forget where Kip Kaplan works, but he's still doing stuff.
There were a few other studios that back in the day when I got my first agent back in like maybe 08, 09.
I hadn't even started professionally yet. I hadn't even done Pokemon yet until 2009.
I was booking these these animated shorts and all these different commercials that my agent was getting me. And there's one recording studio that was literally in the Grand Central Terminal building. Like, it's part of that building.
Wow.
You just take an elevator up. I remember I went there, I did a job. I didn't even leave the station. I took an elevator that was by the door, went up to a certain floor. I forgot what it was. It's just like, you know, boom.
That's crazy.
I didn't know they had that.
I didn't either.
They're just, because I remember they gave me the address, and I walked outside of the station, like, looking up, like, where the hell? But wait a minute, this is the number. This doesn't make sense. Like, oh no, it's in the station. Just go with the
Well, that's New York.
Yeah.
So figure it out.
Yeah,
figure it out,
basically.
dipshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, also, obviously, things have, I mean, we were talking about this in the car a little bit, but things have changed a lot.
But none of that exists anymore.
Yeah.
Those studios don't exist anymore. And my agency, since then, she's gone under. That agency is gone. NYAV Post is still around, and they're the only ones that I honestly get any auditions with.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even sure who else. I don't have any connections with anybody else around in the New York area, except for maybe Rockstar Games, and they make games only once every blue moon.
Yeah.
So it's not like you get auditions several a year. You get one every 3 years, and you better hope you nail it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, they've been very good to you for a very long time as well.
Yeah, well, we've been friends since basically I was like 12 or 13, because I started GTA Gaming, which was a Grand Theft Auto fan site.
That's crazy.
And I started out with my friend Kyle back in 01, 02, and they took notice of it because we were very unique with our site.
Yeah.
We weren't just news. We were just like doing all this stuff like posting fan art and having like wish lists and what would you like to see, and they thought that was cool.
I will say,
we became friends.
By the way, for those of you who hadn't heard the Tumblr Kirblog we did a few months ago, because that story was told on there too. Go check that out as well if you missed that.
Did I tell the story there?
Yeah,
I did.
Because I was asking about your whole history and everything.
Yeah.
Well, looping back a bit too, I was talking to Kira yesterday. I was also picking her up from the airport, funnily enough, and we were talking about a lot of the same stuff where it's like, you know, it's hard because like in the entertainment business in general, whether it's Hollywood or otherwise, often you get this like gold rush mentality of like, never being satisfied because you think that you have to like keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and doing better and like and then where you're at is never good enough, etc. And like it's finding the balance of like pushing forward and also being complacent and just like stopping to sniff the fucking roses once in a while, as I kind of jokingly say. That's tough, especially when you're in like your 20s or whatever, or like when you're young and you're starting off and you like, you know, want to take on the fucking world, but you know, you're not always gonna, you know, fucking fall backwards into becoming a fucking superstar or something overnight. It doesn't work that way.
That's not even, you know, I never set out to even do anything. I just want to have fun doing the
Yeah.
job and be able to sort of make a living. Even if I'm doing a part-time job, doing anything else.
Yeah.
As long as I can get consistent voice work and just have fun with it, and have it, be something I can earn sort of a living from. I'm not setting out to be rich.
Yeah.
I'm not setting out to be famous. If you're setting out to do either of those two things, if you're setting out to do voice acting for either of those two things, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I talk about that all the time. Anytime I ever am lucky enough to do like a panel at a con or whatever, and if I ever get asked about advice for VO, I'm always like, do it for the right reasons. Like, do it because like you're passionate
you probably
about.
get this too. How much money do you make? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a whole
Nope.
lot. Especially non-union.
Yeah. Well.
But you know what, though? We still do the job because we love it.
Yeah.
And we love the final product, and it just means the world to us that we have that honor to do it.
Yeah.
And I just, that's why I keep doing this.
Reminds me
Because
of people who were like, I can't believe you did Alpha and Omega 7 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I had a fun fucking time. Also, it was a good paycheck. And I had a good time. And Bosco and I fucked around for an hour and pretended to be the guys from the.
would you do that ensemble?
Yeah, me and Bosco and another guy. We recorded all of our stuff together. It was funny.
That's cool.
We were literally like parodying the two guys from that soap opera Dallas from like years ago. Because I'm sure kids will get this reference. Nonetheless, yeah. I mean, I think that is like the real goal is just like being able to constantly. You know what? Actually, I often liken it to something along the lines of. What is it? Actually, hold on. Before I get to this point, because I do like this point. I want to get the more dire stuff out of the way. When I was talking to Kira yesterday, we were talking about the being critical thing. My whole fear and my whole wanting to like find an adjustment with that was regarding like, okay, I want to be critical because I don't want to just be a fucking child and just be complacent with everything the way it is and
well,
like not want to push.
You have to be professional.
Yeah.
You have to have that kind of a professional mentality and overtone to everything that you do in this industry. You can't go in guns a-blazing like a fanboy, fangirl and expect to get anywhere because you still do have to be a professional, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's encouraged to kind of police yourself and monitor your own work and be critical.
Yeah.
Just don't overdo it because
Yeah.
once you get that you hit this point and you don't realize it that you're thinking too much.
Yeah.
And you're
overthinking. That's why I
and then
hate it. Because
just
then I
becomes a
feel like
downward
I feel like I'm just being a bummer. Like I have become like more critical of actually not even just my own work, like of other people's work. And I hate it because then like I always feel like I'm being mean-spirited in some way or whatever. Like it's hard. Like it's
That's just
hard
you
to
developing as a talent and also someone who is a creator, and you have cast people and directed people before. So that's as someone who's growing.
Sure,
in
but
all
I
of-
mean,
as someone
but
who's
I don't
growing in
use
all of
myself as a
these
mark.
fields-
I don't use myself as a marker for like what the level of quality is because I'm still learning a lot.
You don't have. Yeah, we're always learning.
Yeah.
Anyone who's, I'm sure Ben is still learning stuff because this is an ever-changing medium, and everything always changes. In the last 10 years, this field has changed so drastically that anyone who took a hiatus back in '08 and started up this year would be like, what do I do? This is not the same game. So if you don't keep up with it, it changes a lot. So there's always something you can learn, and you've been learning the whole time. And I think you're able to just pinpoint what works and what doesn't, which it gives you a better ear,
Yeah.
which is always a good thing to have.
I guess because like I still want to hold on to the positivity. I want to hold on to like the optimism and like the seeing the good in everything and everybody as much as possible, which I know is very like fucking like protagonisty. It's like, no, I want to be the good guy.
I want to see the goodness in everything.
Jesus. There's no goodness in there. There's just I'm pointing to your heart and there's just like black dripping.
Have you met my friend Holly Bibble?
You're gonna get me in trouble. What the fuck was I going? Oh, to go back to the earlier bit too, or the later bit to the earlier bit. I'm jumping around everywhere. The goal being of like you just want to have fun and you want to like be constantly enjoying what you're doing. I think
I often liken that to like the excitement of like, oh man, I'm waking up on Saturday morning and there's a new episode of whatever that I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. And it's like, oh cool, it's this thing that I love doing, and it's always like unexpected, like what is it going to be today? Like it's that same feeling in terms of like whether you're performing or creating or writing or drawing or streaming or whatever.
Well, this kind of goes back a little, not off topic, but kind of going back to with the whole like, you know, we enjoy what we do. We're nerds.
Yeah,
too.
well,
so
yeah.
you know, we can play the games as they come out and love them and have a lot of fun with them because we grew up with them, and you know, just because we get older and just because we do this as our career doesn't mean that we have to stop playing the games and watching the shows.
Well, so now that's
We're
becoming much more like commonplace that is how it is. So
yeah, I
you
mean,
know.
I haven't even played a couple of the games that I've been in the PS4.
I don't have a system. I don't have a PS4 to play most of the games that I
Really?
am in. So
Oh my goodness. So, yeah.
but, yeah, I mean,
Hey, well, you should get the games and come over to my
we
place.
should play them and stream fucking Tales of Zestiria for 30 billion hours. That'll
Let's
go
do
well.
it. Let's find your character.
Totally.
Beat him up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find you,
You
and
can't
beat
beat
you
you
up.
can't beat me up. I beat other
I
people.
will hack the game and
Yes.
beat you up.
Oh my god. I
I'll
think
insert
actually
myself into the game.
just mod it and just
And
put
be-
you.
Yeah.
Just Casey will replace Saray. Fucking A.
Hey, I'm Saray. Hey, guess what?
That's-
I'm gonna pants you, Kurt Fru's character. I'm gonna pants you good.
That is not what Robbie Damon sounds like, but good job.
No,
No.
but that is gonna be what it sounds like when I mod myself in.
God.
Anyway, yeah, going back to that is, you know, we're fans of this, and that's something that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Is basically what I meant to say.
Well, I think that having passion still, like, that also outweighs the jadedness of it, you know, especially because if you have been doing stuff for a long time, excuse me, it is easy to like kind of like feel broken down by a lot of shit. But I don't know, like you got to make it interesting and fun and engaging for yourself. You got to keep yourself you have to keep yourself being upbeat with stuff so that like you'll continue to want to do this. You know,
Right.
because I've had times where like fuck voiceover, I hate this. I hate doing this. I've had times where like, you know, very rare times where I'm just like, God, I'm no good at this, and I want to just fucking give up and lay down and just fucking
That's
die.
been my mentality for the last few months.
I'm
I'm just
no.
like, I want to give up.
No.
I'm horrible at this.
No. Shut up. I'll beat you up and take your lunch money, and I won't feel bad about it. And then
You paid for my lunch.
and then I'll come back. Shut up. You're not supposed to know that. No, it'll be like the fucking later part of Zootopia when the bully fox come back and he's like, I'm very sorry for beating you up.
Oh,
I had a
God.
lot of aggression. I didn't know how to.
I love that movie.
I love that movie
I never
too.
saw Zootopia. I saw Zootropolis.
Oh, that's right.
I saw it with
Yeah.
Blake and Bridie in England. Yeah.
Zootropolis. Not not my Zootopia.
What?
Yes.
No.
I guess, you know, 2017 is for many, many reasons going to be scary. But in the midst of that fear, I'm trying to find things to be excited about and to look forward to, and to look forward to a bright future that we have to make for ourselves. You know, I think that because it starts with you. It starts with like whatever actions that you take, you know, whether it's for yourself or if it's for the people in your life or just like the people as a whole, you know. I mean, because I often,
Oh my God, I'm in LA.
right? Did you just fucking have another like, wait a minute, where am I?
Yeah, I did. Because this whole thing has been kind of impulsive.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh wait, there's a window of opportunity.
Do you,
Take
do
it.
you feel like we're just like, oh yeah, we're going to like a con this weekend or something, right?
Kinda.
And then I'm going
I
home,
feel like
right?
we're in New York or
yeah,
something.
it's like, no,
I feel like
you're
we're
no,
still
you're
in New
here.
York, and
No,
it's
you're
like,
here now. You
hey, we're gonna
moved.
take a walk. No, I can't. Snowy outside.
Well, I mean, now you can take a walk.
-7.
It's just raining
Wind
outside.
chill. Chilly.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm glad that I've reached a point of like kind of knowing like, okay, what is my motivation? What am I all about? What am I doing? You know, why do I want to do this? And I'm letting that be kind of my, I often say guiding light in terms of just moving forward and making my own future something to be excited about. And to, you know, to live everything to its fullest and just be fucking happy. You know what I mean?
Well, being happy. I mean, that's the thing is, I was happy on the East Coast as far as where I was living with, you know, my best friend, and it was like just having a party all the time. So I got to do voice work from time to time, but it just wasn't enough. So I wasn't happy in that regard. But
Yeah.
now I feel like I'm doing a bit of a trade as well. Like, okay, well, I might be happier here doing work, but I might not be as happy, you know.
Well, when you
without
see
myself.
everybody and you know,
So-
and you're reminded that you have friends here, I think that'll probably
Yeah.
lessen that. I
I
no,
mean, who knows? I could be here for 3 weeks. I could be here for 3 months. I could be here for 3 years. Or longer or shorter. Who knows?
Actually, you remind me. I was lucky too because actually, you know, by the time that I was moving here, a lot of my local friends were gone. You know, like it was like, you know, I had certainly a few, but like, you know, like Mike Lucas and Steve Yurko hadn't moved here. They moved the summer after I came here. They moved the weekend that we did the panel.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, I remember you told me.
Yeah, and like, and actually, I also think before about like the whole. I've told about how like I was almost Clement on Pokemon X and Y, and like I would still be in New York now probably if I booked that part, and you know then they would have left too, and I would have had like very, very, very few people. And I do have friends back home, certainly like you know a few, but like when moving here, I knew so many people out here and had so many friends that even in the midst of there were people that were like, get the fuck out of here, we don't want you. You know, there were also plenty of people that were like, dude, you're welcome here. Like, we're excited to have you. And like that, I think, because having
kinda
a
keeping me
social
going.
life again.
Having Bradley say like, yeah, we get to hang out, and
Yeah.
even Ben cheering me on, and,
Yeah.
and Dan, you know.
We got to go see
And,
Lonnie in fucking San Diego at some
and-
point.
Yeah, really. I know. I want to see her so bad. And my friend David, a couple hours out east, and he's cheering me on too. And I'm like, man, this is hard to give up now.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
it kind of gives that, kind of reignites that flame a little bit when it feels like you've put it out yourself by accident. Like you're starting a fire and oops, I burned my hand and the fire went out. I stepped on the fire.
Whoops.
Oops.
Well, don't do that.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
But you know, it helps kind of keep you going a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, if I can kind of get my foot in the door, so to speak, I might have a shot at staying here longer than a month. But you know, even if I don't stay longer than a month or so, at least I was here for like a month and had fun, and whatever happens, happens.
Casey doesn't know that I'm not letting her leave. If she literally tries to go back to LAX to move back to New York, I'm going to steal her back.
You do
so.
realize that you're not covering. You're covering nothing.
Oh, sorry.
I could hear
Are you-
everything.
No,
you're
Casey,
saying.
you can't hear me right now. I'm talking directly to the audience and I'm whispering. What? You know, I think that to kind of conclude things too, I think that there is a lot of this like, I don't want to say the word magic, but just like this kind of spontaneity of just like you just jump in and you just fucking do it and you just move forward. And,
Well, there's nothing spontaneous about it. I've been wanting to do this for 10 years.
or not spontaneous, but like just because like I did.
When you have that window of opportunity, you jump.
Yeah.
You take it.
And you just go.
immediately take
Yeah.
it without thinking.
Yeah.
And there's a quote that Carrie Fisher said, and I don't know the exact wording, but it was basically when you're overwhelmed, if you lack the confidence, just jump in and the confidence will follow. And I've been thinking that a lot too, because I have no confidence. Anyone who knows me, sure, I might seem like I have quite a bit of confidence, but nope. So I have none, and you know, jumping out here is just I'm waiting for that to catch
Yeah.
up, Carrie.
I think a Carrie Fisher quote is a good way to go out
I think
on
so.
this. So I guess that's gonna wrap us up. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
For while we're both exhausted.
Yeah.
And
I still have caffeine in me, dude. So
I still have burping coming out of me. Sorry,
That's
sorry for being so like. Anyway.
it is slightly concerning. Would you like a Tums or something?
No, I'm good. I guess that's gonna wrap us up. So I don't even know what to say, like to leave a comment about. I mean, I don't know if you've experienced what it is that we're talking about and have anything to relate. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys out there, and if you want to, please let us know. The rest of the month, I've got some other particular stuff planned for Kirblog to do. There's a lot of anime movies and games coming out that I want to review and do some stuff on.
maybe some more streaming. Who knows?
Hashtag positive 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let us know your thoughts. Give Casey a warm welcome in the comments. Do that. Follow her. Where's tell us all your social media stuff?
My Twitter is at Casey the VA, CASEYTHEVA. On Facebook, you can find me as well, but it's not as easy. You just have to type in my name and find the one that has a little check, the verification mark.
You have over 9,000 likes.
I have over 9,000 likes now.
That's
I do.
true. And I was not even trying to make the obvious joke.
It's like
of that.
9,324 or something like that.
Shit, dude. And then Casey Likes Games is your YouTube.
I do have a YouTube channel.
I'll have that linked on.
I do games
linked on
on
here
the
too.
side just for funsies. I told you I'm a nerd.
You stream like every day, it feels like.
I do because I have nothing else to do. And like if I'm not doing a voice job, I'll stream. And while I'm streaming, I'll say, "Hold up, guys, I'll be back. I gotta do this quick job." Come back half hour
You
later.
just leave it open the whole day.
Yeah,
just come
basically,
back.
pretty much. Yeah.
Oh God. I think that's gonna wrap us up. This week I'm going to see One Piece, Film Gold, and Sailor Moon R, which I'm gonna do Kirblogs about both of those for this weekend. I don't know if I'll have people joining me, but we'll see. And then the rest of the month I've got some crazy shit going on. I know I'm being still very mysterious about certain things, but sit tight because I'll have some hopefully cool things
He's
to talk
got
about.
cool stuff. He's got cool things coming in the future.
Thanks,
This is
Shin.
all about the future.
Thanks, Shin-chan.
With the penis.
I appreciate
Penis.
We'll,
Future.
we'll catch you all later. Have a good one.
See you, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.